The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Pot Talk, everybody. I'm Jim.
And I'm Paul.
And tonight we're going to have a special guest, Gavin McInnes.
Yeah, we got some clips from this guy. You might know him from Red Eye. He used to be on that a lot. And he's got his own internet radio show, his own blog. And the reason we're playing him is it's just, we want to show people the right way to do an interview. This guy is a fucking genius. He takes people with other points of views and decimates them, basically. He's incredible. So, are we ready to play the first clip yet?
Yes, we are.
All right, well, let her rip.
Oh, the only introduction, he's talking to the Johnson & Johnson here. She's a billionaire and a feminist. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, yep.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to Free Speech. We're here at the Stand Up New York Labs in the glorious Upper West Side with all the rich people. And we're here with another incredibly rich billionaire-ess, heir to the Johnson & Johnson throne. And she just pulled in
so much money.
I'm here with a politically active artist, Heather Marie Scholl. I don't know this woman at all. I saw her on the street near my house. She was putting up this sticker, and it says, "It's from one white person to another. It's on us to end white supremacy." I thought that was very interesting, and saw her at a coffee shop and said, "I'd love to have you on the show to explain this sort of mentality behind the sticker." And here she is. So, Heather Mary, is it Heather Mary or Heather Marie?
Heather Marie.
Heather Marie.
I mean, I just go by Heather, but
let's do
written,
Heather.
I do Heather Marie.
What does it mean? How do we end white supremacy? Well, first of all, what is the white supremacy you're talking about?
White supremacy infiltrates every part of our lives. I tend to use that term rather than racism because racism is really just white supremacy. It's the elevation of white characteristics and the normalization of our experience and our lives. And
can black people be racist?
I would say that people of color can be supporters of white supremacist ideas.
Okay. What if black people don't like Chinese people?
People have biases all over, and some of that is because of the biased society that we're raised in. What I really consider white supremacy and structural racism is the fact that there is power behind it.
Oh,
yes, you
okay.
can be biased against a group of people, but do you have power and influence over how their lives are lived on a regular basis?
Okay. So it's about power. So whites are really the only racists because they're the only ones powerful enough to do anything about it, like not give a black guy a job. Black people can hate white people, but they can't do anything about it.
Not really, no.
Don't they kill them en masse?
En masse? No.
No.
That is one of the great myths that we've created
about
how often black folks kill white folks.
How often do they kill white folks?
I don't have the numbers, but I believe I read recently it was somewhere around 10 to 15% of murders committed by black folks are white.
Well, then what are all the murders? What are most murders with blacks?
Most murders are white on white.
Right, just because of the numbers, the demographics of the country.
Yeah, of course.
But how many murders? Do you have a rough idea of how many blacks kill other blacks?
I don't have those numbers.
I think it's 6,000 a year. I mean, there's one a day in East New York.
Know.
Anyway, sorry.
I mean, that's not...
So I thought it was interesting, though, for a second there you were saying, I heard that a lot of times when people of color have a bias towards a group, it's actually white people's fault because they're living in this country that is so racist. They end up picking up these racist traits.
Of course, yeah.
So when blacks are racist, it's because whites have brainwashed them into being racist.
Yeah, I mean, that's the structure of our society. And I mean, I think about beauty standards a lot just because I am a fashion and aesthetic type person. And so often you see the elevation of white beauty, like white female beauty. And people of all races suffer from that.
I see. So that's why when black women straighten their hair,
Of course,
they're trying to be white.
I would not put it in those terms, but they're suffering from a beauty standard that is white-centered.
I see. But they seem to do that all over the world. I mean, even in Africa, you see every woman.
Well,
who can
some of it
afford
is there is a long tradition in African and African American culture that hair is a form of art, and that is a form of self-expression, and that has gone on for a very long time. So it's part of that. But then the white beauty standards also play a role.
So it's not possible that long blonde hair is just more aesthetically appealing than a little fro.
No.
Like if a Martian
we've
landed
created
here
that.
and he was looking at Bill Cosby's wife and he was looking at Farrah Fawcett, he
You'd
would
be
say,
fascinated by the difference.
and he would say,
And
both.
most, if you take away the power structure, then it's simply about being fascinated by difference. And there's nothing wrong with being fascinated by other cultures and differences. And I've read some stories of people who had that experience growing up, that they lived in places other than the United States, and in communities where difference was just normal, and they learned whiteness as part of difference rather than as a power structure.
So in America today, everyone is taught that white is the best, and if you're not white, you suck.
In subtle ways, yeah. I don't think most people could articulate that. That's not something that most people are...
It's systemic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back.
Yeah, well, there you go. See,
It's our fault. White power.
yes, and
The blacks are racist because of us.
and there is somebody that has benefited more than anybody else from white privilege, right? She doesn't discard her white privilege. She doesn't get rid of her white privilege.
Oh, she was bragging she had a Lamborghini,
There you go.
and it got towed, and she doesn't care because she can buy another one.
Oh, there you go. Then if she really cares about this white privilege that
Yeah, I know.
supposedly exists, give your fortune away to black people. I'm sure they'd appreciate it, because I know I'd appreciate it.
If I was black, I'd
Yeah,
somebody gave me
shit,
money.
yeah. Yeah, give me that fucking
Like
Lamborghini
Obama.
that got towed away. You know, it's always these leftist, white guilt-ridden people, right? And they're not really guilt-ridden, you know. They're just trying to be superior to you.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't feel the guilt, because if they did, they would get rid of
This
their
is how they
fortunes.
get rid of their guilt.
They put it on you. On you. You should live a certain way. I'm not going to do that, but you should. You know? And she's so smug. I love it, too. And that's another thing I hate about liberals. They're so fucking smug. They think that their way is so enlightened. It's so much better that if us poor fucking working slobs could just see that their way is the right way, the world would be a better place. There'd be no terrorism.
We just don't have any feelings. You know what I mean?
We're heartless.
Yeah, and because the blacks are down on their luck, it's white power, it's white privilege, it's white, white,
Yeah.
white.
Sorry.
I was going to say, don't give up at the European nations there. Don't give that up.
Oh, no. I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say, just like Van Jones, you know who I'm talking about, after the election was saying it was a white lash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was all these things. How about the failures in your community?
That's white. That's
perpetrate?
white problem too. We're the ones that are destroying your tenement buildings. We're the ones that are fucking destroying your streets, sidewalks, walls, doors. You know.
Yeah, like Flint, Michigan. We're the ones that poisoned the water.
Yep. By giving them an opportunity, and they just took it and fucking threw it down the
Trashed it.
toilet.
Yeah.
And that's where you come up with Detroit, L.A., Oakland, Baltimore, Chicago, you name it.
all these progressive utopias. Fucking Detroit should be the safest place in the world, according to a liberal. They've had 50 years of unabducted liberal dominance. They've had liberal dominance there for at least the last 50 years.
Right.
Should be fucking utopia.
Right.
Why isn't? Yeah? It's the exact opposite.
Well, it's time for the people from Illinois to rise up.
You
know what I mean? All these fucking white people that don't vote really pisses me off.
Detroit, the black people of Detroit should rise up and say fucking enough.
Enough's enough. Yeah, we tried this for 50 years. It don't work. Your experiment's a failure.
Yeah, we're going Republican. We're going to give it a shot.
We're going to try educating our way out of the ghetto.
Yeah. Instead of wearing fucking saggy pants.
Basketball got me nowhere. No sports got me anywhere.
Yeah, rap got you everywhere, right?
Yeah.
That fucking
Music.
rap contract. How did that work out for you? Fix your own fucking neighborhoods. Why is it up to us? It's pathetic. Detroit, like, I hate to keep using them as an example, but it was a shining city on a hill. I mean, it was the car manufacturing spot of the world. Not just America, the world. It had a population of over 3 million people. Now it has a population of less than a fucking million. And everyone's like, well, that was because of white flight.
And where'd they go? They just went to another big city with another fucking decaying ghetto. You know what I mean? They just switch one city to the next.
No, all the whites left Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
And they're mad because Whitey left.
Whitey said there's no jobs. See you later.
Yeah.
You drove him out.
The Democratic policies destroyed it. And the fucking unions, too.
They drove them out, too, also. That's why they were going to different countries.
Yeah. Why do you think fucking Ford was moving down to Mexico? Because they didn't want to pay somebody $70 fucking an hour to fucking work a screwdriver.
Trump's going to give fucking Detroit one more chance via Republican.
Yep.
And
if they fuck this up, they're on their own.
They're on their own.
First of all, they can't fix it anyways.
Yeah, they can by giving them charter schools. They're better educated.
But I mean,
you got to admit they're just giving people college education because they're black, not because they're smart. All right, we got a bunch of dumb fucking millennials being pumped out.
But the big problem with Detroit now is trying to fix it. They owe so much money out to these in pensions, right?
Well, they
that
should
they
get rid of
can't
them.
pay. But they have a contract with these people.
An unsustainable one, so it should be null and void.
They got to do
something. I'm not bailing them out.
No.
I'm not bailing fucking pensions for unions out.
What I'm saying, Jimmy, if they try to honor these contracts, they're never going to get out from under what they're up against. They owe $300 billion or something like that in pensions they can't pay.
So you get rid of the pensions. These people put nothing into them, so they got no right to them.
I agree. They got to do something.
Well, it's unsustainable. It makes the contract null and void.
Yeah. And who the fuck negotiated? Well, never mind. I answered my own question.
Democrats.
Never mind, yeah. Who negotiated these shit fucking contracts? Fucking ridiculous. GM owns, the union owns like a quarter of the company now. The fucking union. How the fuck is that going to make it better? The unions is what got them into where they are.
Mm-hmm. They're probably going to negotiate a hell of a lot better because it's not going to be like a Democratic City run anymore.
At a certain point, the machine breaks, and I mean, what do? You have to.
The black community is going to have to come together, get over the newspaper, saying that the Democratic way.
Jimmy's in Jimmy's defense, this is really good weed.
I forget what I was saying.
The unions and everyone's going to have to get together and decide where the cuts are going to
Oh,
be.
no, the blacks should get together and decide whether they're going to keep voting Democrat or Republican. You did it 50 years Democrat. Why don't you try it at least 10 Republican?
You know,
Let's do that social experiment.
if you had shown Martin, Dr. King, how blacks are voting now, he'd be like, what the fuck?
This is what I put my life on the line for?
Yeah. To get off of one plantation and move into another.
Exactly. Well, you never get off.
Yeah. And you know what? And my brother Mike, it made a really good point about that, right? He's like, if I'm such a racist, right, why do I want blacks off of welfare? So they'll be competing with my kids for jobs.
Right.
He's like, if I was a bigot, a racist, I'd want them on welfare. Leave them in their fucking ghettos so they're not competing with my kids. I want everyone to rise.
Well, these kids, blacks going to colleges and getting jobs just because they're black. That isn't content and character.
No.
That's fucking twisted, perverted. Oh, it feels good.
And once again, Dr. King would not have agreed to that. He would not have agreed with affirmative action. I personally don't think he would have.
A lot of blacks don't.
No, they want to get the job because they deserve it.
Exactly.
You know, I work all over the country, right? I meet all kinds of people. And the working people I meet just want a fucking job where they can raise a family, send their kids to decent schools, and hope they do well. That's the American dream.
No, that's white privilege, according to the feminists. That's white
Well,
privilege.
yeah, of course.
Oh, it's run by whites. It's powered and structured by whites.
Yep.
So where are all these affirmative actions? Are they doing nothing?
But exactly. if after 50 years, right, of the Great Society, we're still this fucked up, then it failed.
It did. 50. I mean, how much do you want to keep going?
Yeah, how long do you run the game?
You know what I mean?
At a certain point, you cut your losses and you walk away.
How much is Detroit in fucking hole for? You got LA's in the hole, New York's in the hole, Chicago's in the hole,
Detroit's
Baltimore's in the hole. Why are we giving these people credit? You know they're not going to pay it back.
First of all, states are not allowed by law to run in deficit. The federal government can run in deficit legally, but states can't. They're supposed to produce a balanced budget every year. Every fucking year. And how they get away with this shit, I don't know.
Well, like I said, it's early in Trump's thing. He's trying to battle, a couple of things at a time right now that he promised.
Yeah.
After that, he's going to get down to the nitty-gritty and start really getting into it.
And what's going to happen is, and look, I'm not saying don't infuse money into the inner cities. Just don't throw it in there and let it die.
Exactly. You throw money at it, and there's still billions in debt.
Yeah.
So what are you throwing it at?
Well, what you got to do is change the attitudes and say, look, you're not getting a free ride. We're giving you an opportunity. You either accept this opportunity or go fuck yourself. It's like a drunk being offered detox.
They should separate, not according to color, but according to who's got a job and who don't.
Right, yeah,
if they want to be all on welfare, stick them in the same fucking community. Let them rob themselves. You know what I mean? But the blacks that have fucking got jobs and trying to make it, they should be in a better tenement.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But not even in a tenement.
Well,
they should be able to
out.
choose where they live.
But just a place where everybody's got the same ideology. We're out to make a living and not a fucking screwing.
Look, I don't want the government building tenements. I don't want the government fucking doing anything, to tell you the truth. But in reality, you have to have some of it. Give people an opportunity. If they fail, let them die.
Why should the people that are trying, the blacks that are trying, live in a fucking shithole?
They shouldn't. They absolutely
that
shouldn't.
Would make them give up. Like I said, make all the people that ain't working, collecting on the dole, shove them into all one fucking, what do you call them there? Project. Stick them all into one project, and all the ones that are working, trying to get out, put them in another project. I'll guarantee you the fucking project.
Right? Okay.
Hello?
Hello? Oh.
I don't know.
It never ceases to fucking happen. What they should be doing, and this is the problem with the black community. If you do well, they ridicule you as a fucking Uncle Tom
Right.
or
Yeah,
a fucking
because they're
sellout to
jealous.
Whitey.
They're jealous.
Right? Fuck them. You
hung up.
Well, we'll help you. Who's this?
Val, I'm doing my show.
I know, I was calling in because I was listening to the show and you guys hung up.
No, because we didn't.
It said an 800 number. I thought it was just
Oh
somebody
shit, that's
harassing.
the 800 number Joe posted today.
It ain't the same one as before.
No, it's not.
How you doing, Val?
Well, I'd be better if you guys didn't hang up on me when I called in to
I'd
comment
rather
on your
have you
show.
on here.
Yeah, I'm glad you did this instead of on the phone. This is way better.
Okay, that's fair enough, but you guys need to be aware that the 800 number is up, and if calls are coming in, you don't just answer hello. You're on the air with Hot Talk with Jim and Paul. Welcome to the show.
Oh shit, we're getting an etiquette lesson too.
Yes.
Oh,
And Jimmy, I
that's
completely
beautiful.
agree with your point. I'm echoing, Paul. Stop pressing the button, Paul.
No,
Nobody's pressing a button. We have an open mic.
yeah, we're on voice activation.
Well, then I can't
And
be
for
in
some
here.
reason, I can't shut down my speakers. It's still coming over my speakers, and I got the volume turned down, so I don't get it.
Yeah, back to the technical end of the scope.
Put it on push to talk. Otherwise, everything I'm saying right now is just going to drive me batty. But Jimmy, I agree with you. If people are living in poverty, and that area is, just heartbreakingly filled with crime and just oppression, then yeah, they're not going to try to help themselves. They're not going to want to, because you know what? They're going to spend the day trying to survive. They're going to spend the day thinking, no matter how many times this other person's tried, I've seen that person try, I've seen that person try, their hope gets sucked away from them.
Exactly. Living around in poverty and filth, it's enough to knock down anybody's character.
There's an old saying that says, a man is measured by the character of his friends, or by the company he keeps. And it's quite true. What you learn, what you grow up around, it's not saying that everybody's going to be like that. No, there's going to be people who will rebel against it and who will try even harder and fight even harder. But for the most part, man is man is an animal, right? And our instinct is to survive. Now, you were saying that they should, yada, yada, yada. What about being drug tested? And I'm not talking about weed. I'm talking about opiates and stuff. Things that actually, even weed. Things that actually affect.
Yeah, if you drug test, they'll drug test for weed also.
Right, but I'm saying that weed is pretty much going to get legalized. It's being legalized as we speak, right?
Right, but it'll still be what do you call it?
Yeah, well, if you have money for
It'll
weed,
be
why are you on
illegal to
welfare?
have it in your system if you're working or whatever. You know what I
It
mean? Like
is
alcohol.
illegal. So everybody else who's paying taxes, we're paying taxes, we're working. Hello, if we have to get drug tested, why should anybody on welfare not be, drug tested as well? They have to answer a freaking question. That's it. Do you know what the question
I
is like?
totally
It's
agree.
stupid.
I agree. I've been drug tested on many jobs.
Exactly. If I have to pay taxes to help with welfare, and I have to be drug tested, and eating a poppy seed, which is one of my favorite, bagel, can get me tested positive for opiates in my system,
Yes,
then there's no way that somebody who is getting my hard-earned money should not be tested.
No, I agree with that. There should be some standards that people have to meet, definitely.
Right. That was my comment. That's what I was calling in to say, because you were getting very passionate about your topic, but the truth of the matter lies within this. Welfare, when you look at it, the amount of money that goes towards welfare, towards SNAP, towards programs, even towards healthcare. Do you know that the American government is spending more than twice the amount on additional military defense? And we are right now the strongest military capable country in the world, right?
Yep.
We are spending more than twice the amount it would take to literally provide free healthcare for everybody in this country on new military defense programs. Just think about that. More than
Yeah,
twice.
but that's only for 1 year you'd be paying the insurance, not forever. You know what I mean? These planes are going to last a hell of a lot longer than a year.
I'm talking about the amount of money it would take to cover every citizen of the United States. And you're saying it's short term, it's just for a year, right? But you have to think about it this way. If the infrastructure and the organization is put into place, then wouldn't that be something that can move forward with, instead of all these short-term stopgap measures that are taking place that are in fact costing the taxpayers more money in the long run, because the only people it helps are the insurance companies. Think about this. Doctors are no longer in charge of our medical care. The insurance company is. If I go to the doctor and I have an issue or problem, let's say I'm diabetic or something, right? And I have to take insulin and something else, like a friend of mine was explaining it to me. I can't remember offhand what it's called. But there's a drug that they have to take that helps them absorb the nighttime insulin. Excuse me. There is one that works very, very well with his body. There is another that does not work as well with his body. But the one that works well with his body is not even offered to him under his insurance. So his doctor can't even offer it to him and give him the option of paying for it outside of insurance unless he asks for it. Because he is educated and he knows to ask for it, he did ask for it. But what about Joe Schlo outside there? The average Joe who does not know. What happens to him when the doctor says, oh, you should take metformin. Oh, you're getting ulcers? All right, here, take some Xanax. Oh, the Xanax not working properly. You're getting anxiety. Take some Prozac. And they give you a pill to help the side effects of the previous pill, to help the side effects of the previous pill, and so on and so forth, when the one thing that you actually needed is not covered by your medical insurance. Think about that.
No, I understand what you're saying, but when you're talking about
We're getting off track.
Yeah. Medical spending. I mean, spending to give people health insurance and a strong military. If you look at American history, every time our military is at our strongest, our economy is always doing the best, and that's a fact.
Okay, the economy is boosting, but you know what? Just because you're saying the economy is doing the best, and that's a fact. Yes, I agree. Per capita, it's not, though. The economy is doing the best for the top 1%. When you're looking at American spending today and the American family today, with the average income being $7.35 in the average state, do you know what that is? Take home for the week. The average person who puts in 40 hours a week is making something like $300, less than $300 take home a week. You have to have 3 adults working, sometimes 2 people working 2 and 3 jobs, putting in 60 hours a week in order to just maintain rent, because of course they can't afford to buy, to maintain their electric, their gas, food. Those are the people who are on. Do you realize that a lot of people on welfare or on SNAP are actually working people? I have a friend who works 60 hours a week sometimes, and she still gets assistance because she has 1 daughter and herself, and she's paying rent. She gets assistance for, as in, what is it called? EBT, I think?
EBT, yep.
Okay. And now it's not a lot, right? But that extra $75 or $100 a month, which is what she gets, comes in so handy for her.
It should be for all. Like I said, I don't have a problem with people with food stamps. We finally feeding our own instead of other countries. You know what I mean? And the public still bitches about it because they're not getting it.
No, but you're getting off the thing here. You're saying that the economy is rising, and yes, the economy is. If you look at the Dow, if you look at the economy right now in America, it is gaining. It's getting higher and higher. But the people are still suffering. The rich are getting richer.
But when the rich get richer, it's like a tide. It
What do you think
raises
it's
all
trickle down? You
boats.
cannot be that
Yeah.
naive.
Oh, absolutely.
You honestly cannot be that naive. You
Yeah.
show me the
No,
proof.
No.
You show me the proof of that, because I can show you the proof of the exact opposite.
I can show you the proof
Margaret
of it
Thatcher?
during the Reagan years. Everyone was doing good. You couldn't step out your door and throw a
Yes.
rock without hitting a jaw.
You know
Did
why?
1%
Because
made
during
better.
the Reagan years, a truck was $7,600. A man was earning enough money. Like, let's say he was earning $7 an hour, $5 an hour.
All right,
His
Val,
truck.
we're getting way off the topic here. We're on feminist.
Oh, you guys were talking about economy when I called in. That's why I called in, because I thought you were talking about economy.
No, we're
But you're
talking
saying
about
that trickle-down
racism being
effect?
white privilege's fault. All right, that minorities
Racism?
are racist. But anyways, I got a clip here, folks. I'm going to play it for you.
All right, in any case, I gotta go. You guys have a good night.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
That's a
I'll
psychotic
keep an air
world
out,
you've
so if I
painted.
want to call,
I mean,
I'll call
It
in.
is
Answer the
close,
phone.
that's a psychotic world you've painted. I mean,
It is close, though.
no, it ain't. No, it ain't. You see, the dominant narrative is your sticker. The dominant narrative in America is white people are evil, white people suck, we should be ashamed of ourselves, and
I don't think we should be ashamed of ourselves. I think that we should take responsibility for the system that we've created.
the best system in the world?
We do not have the best system
Who
in
has
the
a
world.
better system?
There are many European countries that are much better off
Oh,
than
you
us.
mean like the European countries with a higher density of whites, like Northern Europe?
That's one way to phrase it, I guess.
You don't mean Turkey.
No.
You don't mean Eastern Europe
No.
with the communists. So the only time you can come up with a system that's better than America, it's a country that's more white than America. I don't understand.
I don't know what to say to that, so.
Like, I just want to know where the data is that supports this universe of white supremacy. Is it because whites are doing well?
That makes it sound like whites are doing well because they earned it and they did all the right things, rather than we've built this country on a system for hundreds of years that allows whites to do well. We have generations that have supported our success, and we have taken away support from communities of color. So that is why communities of color are not doing well in America. It's not because white people are doing so well for themselves. We're just such a great people. I mean, I'm not...
So the reason whites are doing well is because we cheated.
Yeah.
But if you look at the data of Asians, for example, you will find way more Asian privilege than there is white privilege. Asians make way more money than whites. They're way more educated than whites. They are less likely to experience any kind of crime than whites are. They're less likely to die at work than whites are. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, they suffer from a different sort of racial stereotyping.
Well, they don't suffer. They're kicking our ass. Everything you can say about white privilege is more true with Asian privilege. No one grabs their purse
Still
when
pigeonholes them.
Pardon?
It still pigeonholes them.
Pigeonholes them as successful? I don't think anyone minds being pigeonholed like that. Hey, Mr. Successful, why don't you go drive a nice car?
It's not near as harmful as how black folks are stereotyped, certainly.
Okay, so why don't you start at the top then, and let's try to dismantle Asian privilege.
Asian privilege, I wouldn't call it Asian privilege.
Well, it fits all the criteria of white male privilege.
What do you mean by that?
They get better jobs. They get better educations. No one sees them as threatening. Everything that you can say that whites cheated to get is more prevalent in an Asian society. Okay, let's drop that. I guess it's not going anywhere.
Are you hangry? Know the signs. Uncontrollable yelling.
Why aren't you egg rolls?
Hallucination.
Sushi.
Pants discomfort.
I hate you, pants.
Hangry. It can happen to anyone. Fortunately, there's E24, the app that tells hunger to shut up.
Egg rolls. Thanks, Snoop.
E24, in my medical opinion, it's the best way to order food online, baby.
I'm T.C. Elliott.
And I'm Lydia.
And we are the hosts of the first ever father-daughter podcast. This is post-apocalyptic parenting.
Dad.
Yes?
We should talk about me seeing 21 Pilots tonight.
You're going to a concert tonight?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. It's your first concert, so that should be something to talk about.
No.
What?
That's not my first concert.
What do you mean it's not your first concert?
I've been to other concerts.
What? Why the hell didn't I know anything about this? Clearly, somebody needs to be listening to Dad Max with TC and Lydia. Live Monday night streaming, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Armed Radio.
Hey everyone, I want to tell you all about an amazing salon. Joyce's, located at 132 Ferry Street in Everett, Massachusetts. Joyce's specializes in the latest techniques in coloring, styling, cutting, and beach waves. Joyce's features Sukesha all-natural nutrient products and organic color. Joyce's full-service spa and salon, located at 132 Ferry Street, Everett, Massachusetts. 617-387-6688. Specializing in you.
Hey there, all you creepy people. This is Kevin Lane from Portland, Oregon. You're listening to Armed Radio, home of the big guns.
Hey Dan, how's the day going so far?
My day couldn't be better. You pull up less than 3 minutes after I open my Lyft app, and how do you greet me? With a kind hello? Just delightful.
Great. Care for a cookie?
A cookie? A chocolate chip cookie? You know, I'd love one.
Sure.
Hey, let me ask you something. How did you know I love this song?
I mean, come on, it's the Cold War kids. Everybody loves them.
Whoa! Who taught this guy how to merge? That was a fantastic merge!
Couldn't agree more.
That's it? That's all this costs? What's this thing running on? Smiles and high fives? You son of a Mike! I love you!
Thanks. Have a great day.
Lyft. Driving you happy. Just download and go.
Welcome back to Pot Talk.
That was informative, huh?
Yeah, Asian privilege.
And do you know what?
And she had nothing to say for it.
Yeah, and do you have any beef with Asian people kicking our asses?
Not at all.
Me neither. They try hard.
They try harder, exactly.
Yeah.
I gotta give them a lot of credit.
Fucking A, right. They come from a culture completely different from ours.
They
right?
have a whole new, different idea as far as knowledge and how to learn.
And how to get things done.
Right.
They come here from a completely different culture, right? They come over here and instantly kick our asses.
Well, that's because we're taught we hate school. You know what I mean?
They love it.
They love it.
I could never understand that. How'd you feel about school growing up, Jimmy?
Like I said, I didn't study. I didn't take notes. I didn't do it. But I was a B average.
Yeah, I'd ace a test. That's it. And like you said, I'd carry a 0 homework. I'd squeak by with like a D, C. Just because I need tests.
If I did the homework, it was
I would have kicked
it was
ass.
a B. If I didn't, it was a C or a D.
Never did homework, ever. I wouldn't because my test scores were high. And just squeak by.
The only time I didn't do homework is when they had you read a book or something, because I didn't read.
Reports. Do you know what I
Well,
did?
I didn't like reading.
Fucking math homework. Oh, math drives me insane. And the funny part is, I should like math because I love science, and math is the language of science. I just don't want to do the work. I really am a lazy bastard. We okay?
Fuck.
What's wrong?
My Winamp's just... It just...
Are we on?
It locked up. It means I got to close the program, which means we are right now until it dies. But I'm gonna have to reboot, folks, or I should be right on in a few minutes afterwards.
Alrighty, then we still got a little time left. We're having some technical difficulties. Don't let it get you down, Jim. That's part of the game here. It's internet radio. It's not fucking broadcast. So
yeah, folks, this is the first time I'm sitting around a computer waiting for it to crash.
Yeah, it's
Live
we're
on
actually
air.
waiting for it to crash. There's only
I was ready to do another clip.
There's only 3 things you can count on: death, taxes, and Jimmy's computer's gonna crash.
Yeah.
And we already did commercials, so much for doing them again.
No, I can't do it without winning.
All right, but we are still on, so why don't we keep talking subject? And if you're wondering,
because I got to fix it by the next time. I got another show coming on right after this. So
all right, so you don't care about this show. We'll worry about the next show.
I'm getting one error feedback. I don't know what that is.
Then fix it. Shut it down. And look,
I'm letting
if we
it
come back on,
it's bullshit.
Right, if we come back on air, that's fine. If we don't, we'll see you next week, guys. And we
no, it ain't gonna take that long.
It's not gonna take that.
I don't have to reboot the computer. I just got to shut down Winamp and open it up again.
Oh.
But if I try shutting it down now, it's gonna take like a minute. Until it says it's not responsive. Do you want to close program? And that's when I got to close it and bring it back up again.
There you go. I don't know about the technical end of this. I'm just the mouth. That's it. I can barely fuck. As a matter of fact, I can't play a DVD on my computer because I can't figure out how to do it.
All right, we're officially off the air.
Chuck.
All right, believe we're back on the air again.
Oh, we're back up that quick?
Yeah.
Oh,
like I said, all I had to do was win him.
All right, we got one more.
I just got to check to make sure.
Okay, yeah, Jimmy.
No.
Oh, we got music playing. So we are not on the air.
It says we're connected.
No, we're not.
Could take a minute or two.
That's all right.
All right, we're back. Okay. Want to lower that?
quick?
Yeah.
All
I had to do is win him.
All right, we got
I
one
just
more.
got to check this out.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Right there.
Hello, it.
All right. So we're gonna have play another clip as soon as I can find it. Here we go.
Oh God, I can hardly wait to really start pounding the vodka.
I thought I had saved that thing with the. Well, we'll try it with this.
Give it a shot, see what happens. What's the worst that can happen, Jim? We'll fuck up again?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, folks.
I don't understand that. But that reminds me of when people say that we live in a would you say we live in a sexist society?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Why not?
Well, men are more likely to die on the job. They're more likely to commit suicide. They're more likely to get beat up. They're more likely to get raped.
They're more likely to have their opinions valued, to be able to have powerful positions and not have their bodies be the primary subject whenever they are well known and trying to do something with their lives.
Well, that's a good point, finally. Yeah, we do analyze the beauty of women quite often, but that's a meter that we've been using for 250,000 years to develop attraction. I mean, women grew tits because we started to walk upright, and they said, I gotta attract men to my front. I'm gonna put an ass on my chest.
Also to feed children.
Right, but you don't need big tits to feed children.
No. Genetic variation.
So attraction is an integral part of it, and when you're attractive, it shows that you care. I mean, you've adorned yourself to be attractive.
fashion is one of my forms of expression.
And women are better at beauty than men. Men are beautiful. Have you seen a bag?
Men can be beautiful, certainly.
I've
seen them adorned quite well.
I was talking about this on another show, but I was at a strip club, and I find strip clubs to be a real sort of a cathedral of worship for women. It's seen as a sexist place, and I think when women go there, they think everyone's going to be going, ha ha ha, look at that fucking naked bitch, ha, pour beer on her tits, yeah. But I find women are shocked to see what it is, where it's like a church, where men are just staring in awe. They're not talking. They're very quiet. They just sip their beer, and women just put their asshole in the guy's face, and he's just sort of sipping his beer, just going. And a woman who takes good care of herself, her anus does look beautiful. Now, you say a man. If I was to put my ass in your face, you would need 100% of your willpower not to throw up. I've got hairs all around it. I probably have hemorrhoids. My bag hangs down like a turkey's gullet, and it's got sporadic hairs like a
It's about
a
how you
dying
appreciate
Darth Vader.
bodies, though, because bodies can be quite beautiful, and it's how you sexualize bodies. And yeah, certainly I've been in female strip clubs like that, where it is very reverent. But I'm not saying that that's impossible with men. I think that is possible. I don't think that we've as widespread developed that same aesthetic appreciation. But
so you're one of these people who believes that fat people are beautiful.
Yeah, they can be.
But that's can we at least agree it's unhealthy to weigh 500 pounds?
Yes, of course.
So when we glorify everyone and say everything is beautiful, it's your muffin top hanging over your big gunt hanging over your belt is wonderful. You're actually encouraging obesity. What's the matter with beauty? And it's not like men are picky. All these standards are.
I think it's about encouraging health, and that's what I try to encourage. I'm not trying to encourage, like when I talk to other people, I'm not trying to emphasize like one physical type or anything, but I try to talk to people about health. And some people are healthy at different sizes, and
no, you're not healthy when you're fat.
500 pounds is a different story, but I'm saying there is
280 ain't great either.
There is some physical variation, and it's not all going to be size 0 to 6. And just encouraging people having movement, healthy diets, that sort of thing. Like, that's what we need to focus on, and that will curtail some of that body shame as well. That is what I think some of the fat positive movement has been about. It's to try and curtail that shame that we experience so heavily here. But I think if we shifted the dialogue to health rather than beauty standards,
well, that's on
would
you.
make an effect.
It's up to, from one woman to another, it's up to us to end female supremacy. Because as far as we're concerned, as men, we go plus size down to skinny is fine with us. And a doctor would probably say plus size is a bit rich. So we're actually nicer than doctors when it comes to standards. But women are the ones who shit on you if your purse isn't Hermes, and women are the ones who buy these fashion magazines and insist on women that are kind of gross. They're so skinny they look like 12-year-old boys. Women and gays have gotten together and created this beauty standard that we weren't consulted on.
Yeah, I wasn't consulted either.
That's a good one. Well, I just feel like I don't understand why men get blamed for these unattainable beauty standards when we're fucking pigs. In fact, I know guys.
I don't blame individual men. I blame the system. But
the system is run by females and gays. The beauty fashion industry.
Yeah.
We don't have jocks. I did a sketch on this called "If Dudes Ran Fashion." You don't have sports fans defining outfits.
No.
Or we just say high heel jeans, high heel shoes, cut off jeans, fucking a sweatshirt where you can see your tits. And
Welcome back, folks.
Yeah, that wasn't exactly what never mind.
It wasn't the clip we thought it was. Kind of sucked, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, but it still just gives you a little probe into the mind of a liberal, how they think. And when somebody says something,
A rich liberal, blaming white people for blacks' racism.
And when they're confronted with something they're not ready for, how they just freeze. They're like a fucking deer in the headlights, you know? They just lock up. And they go back to their old talking points. And that's what it all comes down to. It's talking points. It's straight out of the fucking book. You know, and
all right, we're gonna go on to the next one because it's about 5 minutes
we
long.
don't,
We're
yeah, we
getting
don't have
late.
enough time. Yep.
All right, so we're just gonna go straight to that.
We've got so much to tackle here today, and it's going incredibly well. One thing that confuses me about feminists, and I always think of Jezebel when I think about feminists, is their focus on jocks, their focus on rich blonde men, their focus on CEOs, and the deafening silence, as my colleague puts it, when it comes to Islam. I mean, if I was a feminist, I wouldn't be putting up white supremacy stickers. I'd be putting up stickers saying, "Get Sharia out of America," or "We don't want your burqas here," or "Honor killings are dishonorable." That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm behind that one, but burqas and hijabs, people can wear that. That's a religious expression thing. That's not...
Is it, though?
Yeah.
Okay, if the burqa is just religious expression and it's perfectly fine, why is it black polyester in the Middle East? Why are you in a bin bag, as Billy Connolly puts it? Why isn't it flowing white gauze or a fresh cotton? It's clearly meant to punish the woman and make her suffer. Black polyester in the Middle East ain't comfy. And it impairs your vision. It's a form of oppression. But feminists in the West seem more concerned about high heel shoes, which women wear as a choice. We just had our military...
I mean, I'm not concerned about high heel shoes, and I tend not to criticize people on what they're wearing, because I think what we wear is an expression of ourselves, our culture, and a whole variety of factors.
But a burqa is not a choice. It's illegal not to wear one in all over the Middle East. Sharia law dictates a woman cannot show her body.
I'm not from that culture, so I would rather not tell them what to do right now in regards to that.
That's what another liberal friend of mine said. He said, my area of expertise is America, so I don't get involved in other cultures.
And that one in particular I don't know very much about, and have not had as many friendships and relationships with folks from that region, so I don't feel comfortable saying much.
But we've got 3 million Muslims in America today. We've got places like Dearborn, Michigan, which are basically fifth columns for Islam. So it is here in America.
It is here.
And in the UK, we just had a child pedophile ring going on that wasn't investigated by the police because they didn't want to appear racist. So I think this sort of cultural relativism is really dangerous. Why are you so focused on these rich white males who are essentially trying to get the economy going, trying to sell you stuff, trying to keep you happy, because happy keeps the economy going? I mean, Jack Welch, the CEO of GE, he doesn't want women getting raped. He doesn't have time for that. He's worried about the bottom line. He doesn't have time for racism either. If he's looking at a resume, okay, this is a new accountant. Oh, good. He's going to save us $250,000 a year in tax? Oh my God, he's that smart? And he's only asking for $150K? Well, the guy's a living profit machine. Of course I'm gonna... Oh, he's a black man.
It's about how they perpetuate the capitalist structure, though. I mean, sure, if you're gonna support whatever this exec that you're using as an example is doing, then yeah, they don't care what race, as long as you're going to support those same ideals.
Great. So isn't that freedom?
But those same ideals are creating unlivable jobs at the bottom level. They are...
Like what? Minimum wage?
Minimum wage jobs.
You're not supposed to raise a family at McDonald's.
You may not be supposed to be, but there are too many people that is their only option.
Oh, because illegal aliens have crowded out the
Not
market.
just that.
Well, 15 million illegals working cheap has surely affected the bottom line. So I think if you're concerned about wages and the working class, you should be fighting illegal immigration. They've driven down the wage gap. They've driven down the minimum wage. They've driven down wages in general.
The biggest concern is the wealth gap, though. I mean, how much the top percent is making in comparison to everybody else.
I do agree that CEOs make too much, but you remind me of a Margaret Thatcher quote where she said, Labour would rather have the wealth gap here, where both are poorer, than a gap like this, where the where the poor are richer, but the gap is bigger. Would you rather have both down here than a big gap with the poor slightly higher?
I think it would make for a healthier society.
To be down here?
To be closer to equal, yeah.
And do you think the government's role is to regulate that and impose it on the society?
To some extent.
So you're a socialist?
I wouldn't say that, but I believe in some socialist ideals.
I was young, I was foolish, I was angry, I was fun, I was charming, I was lucky. Tell me how.
Welcome back, folks.
Yeah, that's it, and isn't that the way it always is? And she's filthy rich.
Yes. Billions.
But it would be better if everyone was lower. Well, do your part.
Well, yeah, that's what Val was talking about before, that the rich are getting richer. Yes, they are, but so is the poor.
That's right.
Now, if you want the gaps closer together, that means the rich don't get as rich, but the poor get poorer.
Poorer.
Exactly. So why she would want it that way? Oh, are you a socialist? Well, I wouldn't. I got some socialism.
Well, yeah, well, do you know what that would be like saying? Things were better in the 1930s because there weren't a lot of rich people because everyone lost everything, right? So everyone was poor, but they were close. They were almost equal compared to today, where somebody that is raising a family working at McDonald's and getting benefits, because they are getting benefits and stuff. They're getting tax deductions. They're getting...
food stamps.
Yeah. They can afford a big screen TV.
Yeah.
They can afford a computer.
Phones.
Yeah. So isn't that better? Even if they are getting some government assistance, they're working.
Right.
I'm not criticizing them.
Right.
They're working.
And if that's the best they could do, like I said, I could give them money as far as food stamps.
Yes.
You know what I
help
mean?
them on that end.
Exactly.
But you're not supposed to be raising a family working at fucking McDonald's. That's a summer job.
That's like somebody, when 15 starts out when he's got no skills, no experience.
Right.
How is the guy trying to make a living? He's got no skills, no experience?
Right.
He should be finding another job that will teach you a skill.
Look, if you're so stupid that the only place you can work at is McDonald's and you're trying to raise a family, do the world a favor. Don't raise a family. Because you're an idiot.
Exactly.
All right? And you're only going to raise more idiots. For Christ's sake. It astounds me. In most states, I live in New Hampshire, they have a wicked low minimum wage. But most states, it's like $9 an hour minimum wage. And even at that, you can't raise a family. You weren't intended to. It's not minimum wage is not intended to raise a family. It's intended for people to get into the workforce, not spend the rest of their life there. For Christ's sakes.
Well, that's why it was a good, kids after school, college jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you
It's
see
good for that. That's what they were meant for.
Do you see any of them programs anymore, like the CETA program or anything?
No.
No, they don't exist. Because they want young people angry.
CETA was the Comprehension
it was Summer Jobs.
Employment Training Act.
Yeah.
It trained you.
It taught you how to move up the ladder.
They gave you something to build on, and from there it was up to you to make something out of it.
Right. Either you succeed or you fail.
Right.
No, but we'll give you the skills. We'll teach you them anyways.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
That was for all. All right, not affirmative action for one. That was for all.
And that's the way it's supposed to be. I want everyone doing better.
That's what everybody does. Same with Trump. That's what he wants to do. All right, folks, we're going to have to wrap it up here. You never did get a Facebook page, did you?
No, I didn't, Jimmy. I didn't work on it, though. I'll have my wife. Actually, my wife will do it. So.
All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up. You guys have a good week. You're listening to Armed Radio. Good night.
Home of the big guns.
I was young. I was foolish. I was angry. I was fun. I was charming. I was lucky. Tell me